Beautiful black spot tuskfish. Oh my god, guys, the craziest thing. So as I peeked out of the swag this morning, we woke up to a breaching humpback whale just out off the drop off here. And it's the humpback whale migration up the east coast of Australia at the moment. So when we're out on the boat today, hopefully we get a better look at these gentle giants that are cruising up and down the coast. The outline of a big stingray that's been feeding in the shallows here, and then he's moved to here. See the outline of him? That's where he just sucks on the sand down here, looking for worms and little mollusks, little crabs. He leaves a bit of an imprint. Walking along in the shallows here, seeing what we could find. And from the drone, I actually spotted a heap of big stingrays. And there's a giant one just here in the shallows, so I'm gonna put a mask on. Let's go get a better look at him. So he's just using his camouflage there. He's actually been burrowing in the sand while he's feeding, and now he's all covered in sand, so he probably thinks we can't even see him. But let's duck around to the back end of him and see if we can see his big barb. That is so cool, hey? So that barb, just sticking out of the sand, is his only source of defense. So he can't bite you, he can't zap you or anything like that, but that barb is what protects him from the big sharks, like the big hammerhead sharks, the big tiger sharks that feed over these sand flats. Actually, the hammerhead sharks, this type of ray is their favorite eating. So quite often, you see them right up in the shallows doing their best to firstly find these guys that are camouflaged, and then try and actually eat them. So the stingrays will use that camouflage to try to steer clear of the hammerhead sharks, and as a last resort, they'll use that barb on the back end of their tail. That's so cool. All right, we'll leave him be. See you, mate. We're just about to head out on the boat. The game plan is pretty loose, but at some point we're going to catch something. Of course, we're relying on food, not actually just us, but we've got a few family and friends with us here relying on seafood. So we're going to catch something at some point. And the good thing about this area and the Great Barrier Reef in general is you just never know what you run into. So there's a chance at whales this time of year, there's turtles, there's all the amazing marine life underwater. So it's going to be good fun. Can't wait to get out there.
So this afternoon the conditions have completely glassed off, and we wanted to take the opportunity to try and retrieve this gun of one of our mates. He lost it as he was getting buzzed by the sharks. I'll let my brother tell the full story.
2 days ago we were diving on an edge, sort of 10 to 15 metre mark. 2 of the boys jumped in, weren't very experienced. One sort of shot down, shot a trout on a rock, got his shaft caught, got to the top, and then 3 whalers have just come in completely buzzing. In the commotion, they've like jumped into the boat because these sharks were V-lining and buzzing on the top, and then dropped both of their guns. So I jumped back in the water, swam down, found one of the guns, but we couldn't find the other, so we're gonna have a drift for it today and see where it ends up.
But yeah, basically we're gonna cruise 10 or 15 miles to where they were spearing the other day and see if we can find this timber gun that should have a shaft caught in the bottom somewhere in a rock, and then the gun should just be suspended or near the top of the water. So let's see how we go. Strick's just swum out to grab the boat. Gonna come up to the reef edge. We'll all jump in and do it. Go for it, you're nimble. All right, let's see if we can find this gun. We've just come up to this mark we found years ago and we fished off. We're like, oh, we'd love to have a swim on it. But we just sounded over it in 25 meters of water up to like 18 or so. Have a go at that. It's just so much fish life.
I've been looking forward to coming back to this spot for probably 5 years. I dove it one time and drifted off it very quick, but there was a swarm of GTs and it looked like a big cave. And now's finally the chance we've got to return to the scene of the swarming GTs.
Very impressive fish. There we go. Wow. Get out of here.
Mate, how is this spot? Incredible, eh?
It's like GT's, Golden Valley, big cobia everywhere, sharks, trout, everything.
Something is happening at this spot. It's just unbelievable, hey?
I don't know what's going on.
It's incredible.
Literally one of the fishiest hangs I've ever seen.
Amazing, mate.
It's like more fish than water. Oh. Those cobia were just staying out of reach.
Yeah, cove's so just out of reach.
Yeah.
It's nice just seeing all the fish though.
Yeah.
Oh my god guys, the craziest thing has happened. So I've pulled the boat in behind the reef, jumped in for a snorkel, and then out of nowhere these two huge humpbacks have just showed up and they're just like milling around as we were snorkeling there. That was honestly incredible. They came like right up to the boat as we were snorkeling around it. That was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. The size of them underwater just takes your breath away. It was, oh, unbelievable. All right, so we've just come up to this area where Paddy lost his gun. So fingers crossed we can retrieve it.
Beautiful black spot tuskfish. They get the name, of course, because of that black spot there. And they are absolutely delicious eating. They're a little bit more cunning than a coral trout to hunt, so we enjoy chasing these guys, and they taste so good. So a bit of a feast tonight with this guy.
So we got a little bit sidetracked today on the way to finding Paddy's gun, and found a few ledges that had an incredible amount of life on it.
Sorry, Paddy, if you're watching, mate. We got distracted at Tusky Town and didn't find your gun, but we did bring home some fresh seafood. The good thing about camping with a few friends and family means we can bring home a couple of fish and share it all up with them when we get in there.
If anyone else finds a 1.2 metre Reef gun that's relatively new, give us a call, we'll get it back to Paddy.
Awesome, let's get in there, mate.
So I've been coming to this exact island for 18 years now, and one of the places I always look forward to visiting is just off the reef edge here. There's a turtle cleaning station, and I still remember when my dad showed it to me when I was a little kid. It's quite amazing. What it is where all the turtles gather on this bommy. The reason they do that is there's a certain species of fish, or a few different species of fish, that feed on the algae and parasites that build up on the back of a turtle. So the turtles come in and get comfortable on this rock, and they get a bit of a cleaning. And over the years they've done this, they've actually eroded away the coral, so it's formed this like perfect little turtle beds where they can just kick back, relax, have a little sleep, and get cleaned. And every year it must just get a little bit deeper and a little bit more comfortable, but it's really cool. The whole time I've been coming here, there's always plenty of turtles there. And I'm sure it's been happening for a lot longer than what I've been here. And this island is actually one of the largest breeding and laying areas anywhere in the world for the green turtle. And actually you can see behind me here, these are all old turtle nests. They'll probably start coming up to lay in a couple of weeks' time, or about a month's time. But one of the amazing facts about the turtle is that after it's born, when they're just these tiny little hatchlings, they make this dash to the water's edge, and then somehow there's something happens in that process that's kind of got all scientists stumped, that they can then remember the exact place they were born. So for the next 60 years, they'll drift around in the ocean currents, living their best turtle life. And then when they're ready to lay themselves, they'll actually come back to the exact beach where they were born on. It's really quite amazing. But this island, it wasn't always such a turtle sanctuary. So something horrible happened. Back in the early 1900s, there was a turtle soup factory built on this island. And their whole idea was to catch and kill turtles and turn them into soup. And they were unfortunately so successful at it that in 1924, actually over 1,200 turtles were killed and canned and turned into soup. And the majority of them, of course, were the nesting females that were just following that call of nature, coming up onto these beaches to try and deposit their eggs. This, of course, decimated the entire turtle population of the area. And it's no surprises that it wasn't long until there was basically not enough turtles left. Fortunately, we've evolved since then, and the turtles are now protected, and they've made a very strong recovery. So there's now plenty of turtles around. You know, I'm just fortunate that we're alive in a generation where these type of marine life are protected and valued for for them living and how beautiful they are, as opposed to being cut up and put in a can for soup.
Any good, mate?
You always do that. It's so good, so good. It's a bit of a rush feed tonight. I'm sorry we couldn't share the cook-up with you. We've just had a few other things going on, but can confirm it is delicious.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Tuss fish curry. We done well. Such a good day, man.
All right, guys, I hope you've been enjoying the episodes. I know for us it's been a pretty special one, being able to reconnect again after a couple of years. We've found ourselves on different sides of the country and on different adventures.
Yeah, and that's just the nature of the beast as life grows on, and life takes you in sort of different directions. You're living in different places, and travel restrictions and COVID and all the rest of it. But we really hope, especially for those of you who have been following along for the journey for a good while now, that you're really enjoying the varying adventures and the different experiences that Back to Basics are, what we're trying to share.
Yeah, and that's the aim. Basically, we want to allow you guys to come along on those adventures with us. So
yeah, and hopefully give you either the get up and go, the inspiration, the motivation to plan your own trip to some degree sometime in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And if you do want to stay up to date with what we're doing in real time, we are on Patreon. You can jump on there, check it out, a heap of behind the scenes stuff.
We've also got Back to Basics kit.
We do. It's all on the website there. We're on all the social media nonsense.
Even TikTok.
Yeah, I know, mate.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, that was a sad day. But even better, we hope to see you out here, guys. Thanks for coming along for the ride.
Big love. Hooroo.
Hooroo.